us. We've been keeping an eye, a close watch on the U.S.-China trade deal. I mean, is that a game changer?
Well, it is potentially a game changer. Of course, you're speaking with someone who's no expert on foreign affairs. But I think we all
But
think,
in terms of the impact on investor sentiment?
well, it can have a profound impact. I just don't know what.
Well, we've been seeing a lot of posturing. President Trump talking about, a deal is coming. He's looking for a complete deal. How much of that has already been priced in? I mean, we've seen such a run-up in markets already.
Well, we know that there are developments. We know the market rises. We can't attribute what percentage of the market rise, but we've been in a very optimistic environment for the last 36 months, and certainly the idea that President Trump can do some positive things on the world stage is part of that. But I think that nobody knows what an agreement would look like. The probability that it will be reached, the probability that it will be documented, the probability that it will stuck to, what the impact will be. Everybody in our business loves to have forecasts, but they should question the expertise of the forecaster and always wonder about the probability that it's right or wrong. We don't invest on macro. We're not going to change our posture because we do or don't believe that President Trump is going to make a deal with Xi.
So you're investing based on that, where are you putting your money? Has anything changed?
We're what's called bottom-up investors. We're mostly credit investors, so only one thing matters. If we lend the company money, will they pay us back? And the promised interest. And that is not done with regard to the outlook for trade relations, the outlook for what the Fed is going to do yesterday or tomorrow on rates. It's a different brand of investing, bottom up.
Relations between the U.S. and China has been a key question mark for the market. Surely a step in the right direction would give people more appetite, more to be risk on. That's a fair assumption.
Well, I mean, if we could attain a mutually beneficial
Howard, hang tight because we have developments in Korea. Yvonne, go ahead.
Yep, we're taking a look at live pictures out of Busan now. The two leaders just had that first handshake. These two obviously have not seen each other for a few years now. I believe 2019 was the last time they met. So this is the first meeting since President Trump returned to the White House for that second term. And we talk about how trade war 1.0 is very different from trade war 2.0 when it comes to these two nations now, because right now there's so much more at stake. And China seems to be coming through with much more, I guess you could say, leverage that they've been able to use negotiating tools like soybeans, like rare earths in this latest salvo of this trade war. So there you go, the two men hunkering down, heading into that room right now. You're seeing a flurry of reporters. And David, I think it was quite telling that it seemed to be a pretty friendly handshake there. Just look at those live pictures.
It was. And I think some of the comments that came through, I'm not sure if the audio, we were actually able to take the audio so our viewers could actually hear them. Some of the comments coming through out of the U.S. president, specifically, he looked to be the one talking in that. Again, I'm still trying to get wrapping my head around that image we just saw. Like my brain is just not used to seeing the two presidents that close in one location. Donald Trump says that Xi Jinping is a tough negotiator, that he could sign a trade deal today. They have a great relationship, and that they have just finished, of course, that initial handshake, that photo op. And in case you're joining us quite literally just now, they actually just slipped in towards the back of the room to enter this bilateral meeting, which I imagine should be starting any moment now. And I promise you we'll get you more pictures and updates coming through once we have more information from that historic meeting taking place there in Busan. From Korea, we'll take you straight back now to Singapore, where Haslinda Amin, of course, our Inside co-anchor, is with her guest. Has, apologies for interrupting there, your conversation with Howard Marks.
Well, that's right. And Howard, and Howard, we have the two leaders shaking hands lots of things on the table, fentanyl, soybeans, including Blackwell chips as well. And we've seen how those, AI stocks have been rallying in a massive way. It's not a bubble, you say?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that it hasn't been tinged with optimism. We've been in a very strong market. This has been the tentpole of the optimism. Nobody would say that these stocks haven't moved or that they're cheap. The question is, do they have more left? It's extremely interesting to be sitting in your studio and doing this in real time while this may be coming to fruition. But, if there is a positive deal, and I assume that there will be some deal announced, that's why they're standing around smiling at each other, otherwise they wouldn't be. It's not like it's going to change the investment environment from hostile to positive. It's not like it's going to turn people from pessimistic to optimism. It's already been a very positive environment, tinged with great optimism, and this may add to it a little bit. But, we should look at the fine print and figure out, whether it's really mutually beneficial and whether we think it can endure and whether it can solve the problems that we have.
But regardless of the details, the optics are positive. That gives the AI rally yet another leg up.
Yes,
right?
but I try not to care too much about the optics. What I care about is the substance. And, will this make companies better companies? Will this enhance their probability of paying their debts? Will this add to the profitability of companies? That's a lot different from the optics of two world leaders shaking hands.
So would you be an investor in OpenAI? It talks about filing next year. It talks about an IPO in 27. This is a company that's still not making money.
Well, and that what you just said captures the whole question today. Now, you asked, would I? Oaktree is a credit investor.
Yeah.
We don't, and things like OpenAI are not financed with loans largely because they're not bankable. They don't make money, so they can't borrow money. If people buy pieces of the company in the hope that those pieces will become much more valued. But as you asked earlier,
Howard, I'm sorry, we have to leave it there. More developments in Korea. David, go ahead.